hasn't really dropped. Let me flip the switch.
Come on, y'all, let's do this bridge real quick. Tell them I got because tomorrow may be too late. God has been so good to me. He loosed my shackles and set me free. And for that, say, I'll praise. Say it again.
1 minute until showtime.
All the praise. Now, do we have any witnesses in here that know without a shadow of a doubt that you are going to praise with everything that's in you? Come on, you worship, let's do it. Say, I'll praise him. I'll praise him. Say, yes, I'll praise him. Yes, I'll praise him. Say, I'll praise him. I'll praise him. Ooh, yeah. Yes, I'll praise him. Yes, I'll praise him. Say, praise him. Praise him. Praise him.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Come on, it's like
Long Talk Radio.
we just come
With your hands lifted up, say it like this. Take the limits off. Take the limits off. Take the limits off. Release me. Release me. Oh, take the limits off. Take the limits off. Take the limits off. Release me. Oh, release me. Oh, take the limits off. Take the limits off. Release me. Release me. Jesus, take the limits off. Take the limits off. Release me.
Hey, what's up, Chicago? Yes, sir, it's about to go down. Y'all ready?
Hey, no limit.
Yes, sir, it's the hottest radio show in the land. Taking the Limits Off Radio is on the air. That's right, we are on the air broadcasting live on this Praise Break Friday. We're broadcasting live, as always, from the historic Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church, the birthplace of gospel music. And as always, it's your boy, your host, the one, the only Dr. Dana L. King in the studio with you tonight. Man, I'm excited to be here. Yeah, it's 7:30. I know what time it is, but guess what? It's Praise Break Friday. We just gonna get it in how we get it in. Amen, amen, amen. We got a great show for you tonight. Just want to talk to y'all for a little while tonight, but we got a great show for you tonight. Our topic for tonight, if we get to it, simply says how to learn about worship from other churches. How to learn about worship from other churches. That's our topic of conversation, but we're going to talk about that. We got to talk about the Laquan McDonald situation. His murderer is out of jail officially as of yesterday. He is officially out of jail. Jason Van Dyke is out of jail. We're going to talk about the NFL lawsuit with the brothers suing the Miami Dolphins and the NFL. And we're going to talk a little bit about Bill Cosby. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Few things we're going to talk about tonight. Just want to run some stuff by you. But, man, we're going to have a good time. But, look, let me give you the rundown on how you can be a part of today's show. It might be your first time watching, first time viewing. I don't know. But just in case it is, we want to give you the rundown on how you can be a part of today's show. If you're already listening on the line, all you got to do is push 1. That'll get you to my producer, the best producer in the land, the one, the only, my wife, LaTanya Michelle King, taking all of your calls, text, emails, letters, complaints, all that good stuff. She's on the other side of the glass. Push 1. That'll get you over to her. She'll get you over to me, and you'll be live on the air with your boy. If you're listening via Blog Talk Radio, simply dial area code 323 4375. That is the call-in number, 323-870-4375. That is the call-in number. One more time for the Holy Ghost, 323-870-4375 is the call-in number. If you want to email the show, you can email the show. It's the TTLO show at TTLOmedia.net. That's right. It's the TTLO show at TTLOmedia.net. One more time. It is the TTLO show at TTLOmedia.net if you want to email the show. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do that as well. You can tweet the show. You can tweet the show at TTLO Radio. That's right. You can tweet the show at TTLO Radio. That's 2 T's, 1 L, 1 O. TTLO Radio is where you can tweet the show. If you want to follow us on the gram, follow us on Instagram, you can do that as well. Follow us on IG at TTLO Radio. That's right. Follow us on IG at TTLO Radio. That's 2 T's, 1 L, 1 O. TTLO Radio is where you can follow us on the gram. If you want to follow us on Facebook, I saw it was already up there. If you want to follow us on Facebook, Facebook.com. At least I saw it. Facebook.com/TTLO Radio. Facebook.com/TTLO Radio is where you can find us on the book. And then the live streams are up and running. The live streams are up and running. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Say something when you get here. I already see my brother Sylvester Campbell has jumped in. The live streams are up and running. Come on in. When you come in, say hello. Facebook Live is up and running. Facebook.com/TTLO Radio. Facebook.com/TTLO Radio is where you can find us there. And then YouTube, we are live on YouTube as well. Come on in, those of you on YouTube. Let us know where you're watching from on the YouTube page. Come on in, say something when you get here. We'd appreciate it so very much. Come on in, say something again. Let us know where you're watching or listening from. For those of you, whatever medium you're hearing my voice, come on and say something to me. Don't forget, we are an iHeartRadio partner, which means you can find us on your iHeartRadio app. Just do a simple search for the TTLO Media Group. That's right, a simple search for the TTLO Media Group on the iHeart app. And not only will you find the Taking the Limits Off radio show, but you'll also find Healthy Soul Talk. She's on hiatus right now trying to get her schedule worked out, but you'll find the Healthy Soul Talk show. You can go back and catch any of the replays. The Healthy Soul Talk show with Dr. Kimberly Thomas. Real talk, real issues, real solutions. Again, that's Healthy Soul Talk show with Dr. Kimberly Thomas. She is a licensed counselor and therapist. You can always catch her show. It's always great. Don't forget about my brother, the good pastor, Harold D. Washington. You can catch him as well on the TTLO Media Group Network. My good brother, Pastor Harold Washington, with the Kitchen Chronicles every Tuesday, somewhere around 7:15, 7:30. You can catch my brother with the Kitchen Chronicles show every Tuesday, somewhere around 7:15, 7:30. You can always catch him. But you know how we do. We start our week every week on Sundays with worship. Yeah, we start our week every week on Sundays with worship. And what better way to do that than right here by kicking your week off with the live stream, the live broadcast from Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church. That's right. Every Sunday at 11 o'clock, you can tune in to the birthplace of gospel music with Senior Pastor Darrell in person and the Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church family. You can catch us every Sunday right here on the TTLO Media Group Network every Sunday at 11 o'clock. But the worship doesn't stop there, because right after Ebenezer finishes, you can catch my brother, the good pastor Harold D. Washington and the Faith Works and Vision Church right afterwards. That's right. The good pastor Harold D. Washington, the Faith Works and Vision Church. Always a good time in worship from the wild west side of Chicago. Always a good sermon and a good word from that brother. Don't forget, you can always find us on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you can download a podcast. You can always find us there. Amen. How is everybody doing on this Friday? Did y'all make it through I haven't talked to y'all since the storm hit. Because time what day the storm hit? Tuesday night, right? Going into Wednesday morning? Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. So yeah, the storm hit Tuesday night. We made it through Taco Tuesday and got home, and somewhere around 2:30 or so, the day after tomorrow started. the storm hit everybody. I hope everybody made it. Everybody stayed safe. It was rough going. They did not close the schools. We still had to go to school. We had a late start. Let me just tell y'all this right now. On Wednesday, in my 5th grade class, I had these amount of children. 0. Not one of my 5th graders. Not one. No, not one. Huh?
Will there be one?
Will there be one? No, not one of my students showed up on Wednesday. What's going on, Sylvester Campbell, man? I'm sorry, I saw you spoke earlier. Not one of my students showed up on Wednesday. So literally, it was I hate to say it, but it was a good day. Not one of my students showed up on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, because we were supposed to get the part 2 of the storm, that did not happen. But on Thursday, I had 5 children. Five children on Thursday. And then I only had 10 today. 11. No, 10. Only had 10 today. So, this, I don't know, man. I've said this before. I know it's different because parents are different now. But I remember going to school whenever. Like Catholic schools were shut down a little bit earlier. Public schools never shut down. Like it had to be either the polar vortex saying that it was like going to be 22 below, or it was so much snow, like a real snow day for public school. It had to be like the Lakeshore Drive day.
Yeah.
That's the only time. And I think public school was shut down, I think that happened on like a Tuesday or something.
But some of the schools were open and kids could go to other schools because, they still have to provide a safe haven.
Right. They sure did.
For these kids.
Yeah. Now, a lot of school, go ahead.
So a lot of kids went to different schools that day
Mm-hmm.
and everything else like that. And then you got to think about your new generation of parents. Your new, everybody that knew Samuel, like Paul J. Adams going to have you come. When we had that black sleek ice that happened 20 plus years ago and everything else like that. And I had a 0 period. Which means school started at 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't care about that black ice on those streets. Everybody knew in that world, like you gotta come to school and everything else like that. But in the world of these parents, which are me,
mm-hmm.
and maybe some people that are older and everything else like that,
mm-hmm.
who had to deal with that. This is where you get the gap years and everything else. Who had to deal with that? Who felt the burnout? Who felt this and everything else? Like who thought it wasn't fair and everything? Like I knew Taylor wasn't going to school because not the way them people pay their money.
Well, but that's the other side of it too. Even though they gave them a snow day that first day, the fact that we've moved into a more virtual and digital society now, snow days don't have the same effect because now, if you think about it, because everybody in the country, might as well say in the world, was virtual for a time. Like at one point, everybody in the country was virtual when all schools closed. And from that aspect, that really got rid of the snow day.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically now there's really no need for a snow day anymore when you have the technology. Now, in Taylor's case, it's a little bit different because, you spend a little...
one was a snow day, and then
the other one wasn't.
The next following day, they was like,
virtual.
We're going virtual.
Right. And that's great when you have the freedom to do that. And the capability. Like with our school, all of our children do not have the technology. We have to give them the technology in order for them to be virtual. Now, what would be great is if you had, disposable resources.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, when you knew, like for instance, we knew about that blizzard on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday, and they was talking about it that weekend that it was coming.
Take these laptops,
and you could have said, "Hey, here go these. You taking these Chromebooks home. Let the parents know when you pick your kid up, they're coming home with a Chromebook." And this is we're doing a preemptive strike. You're going to send Chromebooks home starting Friday and Monday, or you can pick your Chromebook up Friday or Monday when you pick up your child. You can pick up your Chromebook, sign this Chromebook out because we're planning to not, just in case your child can't make it, we're going to have this capability. So, but that's wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking. Let's jump ahead. Let's go ahead and jump ahead, shall we? Why are you talking about rational stuff? Well, because I'm dead and fat. I don't know. That's what all I can tell you, Miss Griffin. I'm dead and fat. Can I tell you all about the cheering at my school? So, what day was that? Because I ain't been here for either insult, right?
Yeah.
Because one insult was Monday.
No, it was Tuesday.
Was it Taco Tuesday?
Was it?
Yeah, it was Tuesday.
Because you needed that drink.
Yeah, right. It happened Tuesday before Taco Tuesday. Right, it happened early Tuesday.
My God, the dead has risen.
Man, it happened Tuesday, and then I got to get today. So every now and then I end up in other classrooms every now and then, and I ended up in the kindergarten classroom. She said I have a week's worth of insult. I know, right? And it ain't even like the big kids. It's the little tiny toddlers, as we want to call them. And so y'all who follow me on Facebook, y'all saw my first post this week where the brother told me that his sister said that I was dead, and because for some reason he mixed me up with Dr. Martin Luther King, or as my man would say, Dr. Martin Luther the King, and because my ID says Dr. King on it, he said that I was dead because his sister told him I was dead, and that I had been dead for a long time. And you still real tickled.
Because you forgot to tell the people that part that you've been dead for a long time.
Right. He said I've been dead for a long time, and I was the reason that they got a day off that Monday, the week before. Right. So that was the first time.
In the words of corporate bless.
Right. So that was Tuesday, right? So on Tuesday I found out I was dead. The dead has arisen on Tuesday. Then fast forward to today. I go down and visit the buddies in the third grade down the hall from my classroom. I said, let me come on in here and check in with them. And a little brother comes up to me and he said, Dr. King, I'm going to draw you a picture. I said, oh, okay, man, come on, what you got for me? He said, well, I need to know what your favorite food is. I said, my favorite food? I said, oh, man, steak. He said, steak? I said, yeah, I like steak. He said, oh, okay. So you like seafood too? I said, a little bit, not too much, but I enjoy some seafood. He said, I know you like pizza. I said, yeah, I like pizza. How'd you know I like pizza? You know what he said to me? He said, I know because you need to lose weight. That's.
Where your sound effect at?
I ain't got now.
No, yes you do.
I'm not playing
no.
You real tickled about all this. You real tickled.
No, I'm not tickled. No,
I think you tickled.
No.
Because you wanted to fight him for me.
Yeah, I want to fight that kid.
Right.
Now the other one that killed you now, I haven't had the time to grieve properly. So
Felicia said, I think you're alive and started to favor Peter Thomas of Real Housewives. Wow. Let's let you see. Really, that's what you real tickled.
Let me see.
No, I let you see. You got a whole camera and devices in front of you. You trying to look around the corner to let me see.
No, the fact is, I see you enough.
So I'm trying to understand too. Let me see. I can't tell. Really, Felicia, that wasn't necessary, but all right. So yeah, the little kids got me this week. So I'm gonna be ready next week. So if some kids start tripping over their shoestrings and all that kind of stuff, it just happens. Just tell them I see dead people. It was a ghost that did it. Yeah. But anyway, let me move on. So hey, look, y'all know it's been a minute for the city was in duress. And it got real stressful a little over 2 years ago when then police officer Jason Van Dyke shot, was it 16 shots? 16 shots. And some of those shots struck and killed Laquan McDonald in a case that made national news because the Chicago police tried to cover it up. The police union said it, as always, with every shoot, they said it was a good shoot. They lied and said that Laquan McDonald was lunging at Officer Van Dyke. Mind you, he was the only one that shot. Anyway, he went to jail 2 years ago. He was sentenced to a little over, I believe, possibility of almost, he would have gotten like 8 years. He only had to do 4, and he did half of those. And now he is at home, a free man with 3 years probation. 3 years probation. 3 years. All of that stress and drama of the Laquan McDonald shooting and Jason Van Dyke, former police officer, is back at home today. Today he is waking up. Last night, rather, he woke up, or this morning, he woke up in his own bed. Mayor Lori Lightfoot calls this his release a supreme disappointment. Cook County Board Tony Perkwinkle says it's a gross miscarriage of justice. Cook County State's Attorney urged action on the federal level against Van Dyke, something the family has been pressing. I'm going to say this, and let me read the statement of what his grandmother said. If a black man had killed a white police officer, he would have gotten all of his time. If a black man, I
say it like Dexter.
I'll say it like this: if it had been a black police officer that shot a white boy who was walking away, running away from him, and had shot 16 times, he would not see the light of day before 20 years had passed. Now, y'all might say, I'm making race an issue. You can say what you want to say. I'm telling you what it is. No way, anywhere, that this man should be out of jail. Get your time. Whatever time that they gave him, he should have had to do. But because this was a state case and not a federal case, because see, when it's federal, you got to do your time. When it's a state case, time served, blah, 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 you end up going home. And he's at home right now. He can't leave the state of Illinois, but he's at home right now. I find it interesting because you guys do know that Lori Lightfoot was on the former on the police on the board for the police. The grandmother says the report says she directed her anger at Lightfoot for the sole place of police reform after the 2014 death of McDonald. Says she lied about everything. She's not fit to be mayor because the police reform that they talked about, that the government, that the Washington D.C. says Chicago needs to change these things. It's been very slow moving, and I want to quote something that the mayor said. Words matter, people. Let me quote something she said. The mayor said this. That Jason Van Dyke is the only Chicago police officer to be convicted for murder while on the job. The only one. Listen to the words. She didn't say he was the only police officer to kill somebody. She said he was the only one that was charged and convicted. Right? Which means this is the only one that actually made it to court. And the only reason it made it to court was because the public demanded that the tape be released. That's the only reason. Because Rahm Emanuel tried to cover it up. The alderman of the city signed off on the civil suit. They signed off on it. They wrote a check that they claimed that they wrote the check and didn't read or watch the video. They wrote the check without watching. They had access to the video and did not watch the video. So once again, you have a city like Chicago that's already divided, where now you kill off a black boy, and then you kill him off. You go to jail. Yeah, you got beat up the first week you was in there, and they put you somewhere else, and now you home with your family. You home with your family. I don't know, man. How y'all feel about it? Talk to me. 323-870-4375. That's the call-in number. 323-870-4375 is the call-in number. Read some of these comments. Felicia, I'm sorry, they need a better spokeswoman for the Van Dyke situation. This is causing a trauma response. Yep. He should have got the same time George Floyd policeman did. Yeah. Please give me the word of God who will support me. This is messed up. Just like they're trying to pin all the wrongful conviction on the black police officer and his crew. Chicago. Yeah. And can I say this? We have to, and here again, people went downtown yesterday, to the police headquarters and marched. Some got arrested, because they went to the federal building and tried to, demand charges at the federal building. And the U.S. Marshals locked them up. I understand wanting the federal charges, but this is why those judges that we ignore, a lot of us when we go to vote, the ones we skip, or you just don't know who they are. This is why it's important that you get judges on the bench that represent us, that look like us. And a lot of times we don't know who those judges are. When we see those names on the ballot and it just says Judge so-and-so versus, Judge so-and-so for the Third Circuit Court and this court, you should know. Do your research. We know who the main people are when we go to vote. We know who's running for mayor. We know who's running for alderman when we're doing our local elections. And we know who's running for governor. Right? I know, Felicia, where was Jamal? Hey, where was J-Mal? I'm sorry, J-Mal. Because he was awfully quiet. That's a good question, Felicia. Where was old J-Mal at? Ain't heard from him. But again, we put these judges in office and we keep voting them in office over and over again. And these circuit court judges are the same ones who are sitting on the bench when these things happen, and people like Jason Van Dyke get a light sentence. Because, 7 to 8 years for killing somebody is light. And then you only have to do half, 4. And then you could get out in 2 on good behavior, because that's the way the law is set up in Illinois. That's the way it's set up for certain people, I should say, in Illinois. I don't know, y'all. I don't have a kind word. I don't have a kind word to say about it. I just know that in situations like this, this is why it's so important to hold elected officials accountable. Any and everybody who was tied to the Laquan McDonald case should not have a job. Should not have a job. Rahm Emanuel knew he couldn't run again, but yet now Rahm Emanuel is now the ambassador to Japan. Right? He went from being the mayor of the largest city, second largest city in the country, to now he's in Tokyo, chilling. Moved his whole family, took everybody to Tokyo, and they chilling in Japan because he is now the ambassador to Japan. Who was the police officer? McCarthy? Yeah, McCarthy was in charge then. He lost his job and then tried to come after run for mayor, failed. Why would we elect you mayor when you lied about the police situation? So he gone. Then that's how we ended up getting the brother to be the superintendent. And we see what happened with him. All of this, the whole system. And now Lori Lightfoot used to work, like I said, she used to work for the accountability side, the citizens accountability side. She was on that squad. I don't know. Kim Fox, nah, never been a fan. I remember her back from my CRS days. Not a fan. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. Felicia said, Corey stay off top of them buildings and go down there. What Corey going? What look, it ain't nothing in it for Corey. Ain't no money in it for Corey. That's why you ain't seen Corey. I need not mention my man because he already blocked me. But and we got some people in the comments. I won't come too hard at him. But bro, Corey ain't going down there. He ain't going down there. I saw Jesse. I'm gonna reserve my comments, but I saw Jesse down there. Yeah. Pat says 7 to 8 years for shooting someone who was walking away, dare I say, in the back. Oh, yeah. And then you only serve 2 years. And they wonder why we say don't trust the system. We have to take responsibility when we go to the poll. Yeah, we do, but we don't. You're absolutely right. But again, and I'm guilty. I can tell you right now, I don't know who. It's only been the last, I can say, in my late 40s. And it's just me being honest, that I actually started looking up the judges that were going to be on the ballot in my late 40s. I never knew who most of those judges were, and I was just drawing a line because I didn't want my ballot to be incomplete. And they tell me I undervoted when they go to the thing and they scan your ballot. So I only in my late 40s did I actually started finding out who the judges were that were running. Because if you do the research, you can see who they are. You can see their convictions. You can see just about everything that they've done. You can see it. It's public information. But you have to be willing to spend the time doing the research, which a lot of us don't do. So we keep letting these bogus, biased judges on the bench who then get to make decisions about sentencing. So there you go. There you go. So I don't know, man. Y'all can keep commenting. I'm gonna change subjects real quick. But y'all keep them coming. I'll jump back on if I see something else. The next thing. This one, my God. Okay, so yeah. So the other side of this is let me see how I want to do this. The other side of this is did you all hear about real quick the NFL lawsuit? Did y'all hear about the NFL lawsuit? The NFL lawsuits. My man Brian Flores is suing the NFL. He's suing the NFL for racist or not discriminatory hiring practices. Right? I'm not going to talk sports. I want to talk about this legal case because once again, here we are in 2020, and there's this allegation that the NFL is being discriminatory when it comes to hiring minority coaches. Brian Flores was the coach in Miami for a while. Or I think he was let me make sure I get his status right because I don't want to misquote. I want to make sure I get it right. But he was a coach in Miami for some time. And he was up for a job in New York. There's a rule that was passed back in the 90s. I believe it was in the 90s called the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule, right? The Rooney Rule states that every time there is a head coaching opportunity, you must interview a minority candidate. You must. That's pretty much what the Rooney Rule encompasses. That you must that you must interview. You must interview a minority candidate. All right. Here is the problem with the rule, and this is what people have feared was going to happen. There is proof that it has happened. So the fear was that, oh, okay, I already know what white coach I want to hire, but let me interview brother man over here just so I can satisfy the Rooney Rule and still hire my boy over here. Right? That was the fear that everybody thought was happening. That was the fear. It's been talked about by different media people. It's been talked about for a while. And now, fast forward, here we are, 2022, and now you have a black coach applying for a job in New York. Here is where the story takes a quick turn. Stay with me. Huh? What you got? Oh, okay. Here is where the story takes a quick turn. The brother was up for an interview in New York. He gets a text message from Bill Belichick saying, "Hey, Brian, congratulations. I hear you pretty much got the job." Brian responds, "Oh, hey, that's good news. Even though I don't get interviewed till Thursday." Bill Belichick goes, "Yeah, I heard." And then now Brian Flores goes, just for clarity, "You do mean me, right?" Brian Flores. And my man says, "Oh, Bill Belichick, oh, my bad. I thought I was texting the other Brian, the white dude who actually got the job." So Bill Belichick, if you believe this story, already knew that Brian Doble, or DeBall, white guy, right, that this guy got the job, was already had the job before this brother even got the interview. How is that possible? Unless somebody did something. Unless it was some mess going on. And y'all done let the cat out the bag, because bruh man who got the inside, Bill Belichick, y'all know Bill got the inside track. He done already said, because he think he sent out a congratulations text and done sent it to the wrong people. He done messed up the church's money. He done sent out the congratulations text to the wrong people. I don't know about y'all, but something ain't right, something ain't right. Tom, you was finna say something? Oh, no. No? Okay. Felicia said, Jamie Foxx said everything I need to know about the NFL in that movie Any Given Sunday. I know that's right. Felicia says the word minority is very vast in definition. It just doesn't mean black. Of course not. At the time the Rooney Rule was, I believe the Rooney Rule might actually mean minority, might mean African American.
And to be very clear, they said there's like one that's the way they wrote it. One Mexican coach out there, somebody else of Lebanese descent.
They got my man from the dude was a former Chicago Bear.
Yeah.
What's my man's name? The linebacker. He's the only Hispanic.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Rooney Rule is just for African Americans. But says they do have.
Go ahead.
People, they do have only 3 though. Only 3 are minorities.
Here's the Rooney Rule definition. It says the National Football League policy requires league teams to interview ethnic minority. It just says ethnic minority candidates for head coaching and senior football operation jobs. It is an example of affirmative action, even though there's no hiring quota or hiring preference given to minorities. only an interviewing quota. It was established, in 2003. I was even wrong about that. It was established in 2003. Right now, the NFL is 90, I'm going to go on a limb, 5% black.
They said 70. They said 70% black.
Oh, it's 70% black?
30% white.
Okay.
You're talking about football players.
Football players.
Yes, 70.
70% black. And you got one black head coach. 70% of the people that's on the field killing themselves for these teams.
With the CTE.
With all of that. And you got one black head coach who's and he been at the same job almost 20 years. He been there almost at least almost 20 years. The brother in Pittsburgh. I can't think of his name. But he's been there. Mike Tomlin. Been there since 2007. 2007. So almost 20 years the brother been there. He's the only brother that's in a head coaching position. Now again, I know the game is played differently. I understand you know people gonna do what they're gonna do. But this rule has no bite. All we gotta do is interview you, and I got my mind. Now here's the deal. Let's be honest. If I think that this guy is the coach that I want, in order for me to get the coach that I want, I just got to interview a guy I don't really want, and my interview ain't even got to be serious, but I'm going to fly him in. I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to give him a first-class ticket. I'm going to put him up in a hotel for a day or two, let him eat good, right? And then I'm going to send him on back on his way. And then I'm going to hire who I really want. That's the rule. Tell me where the enforcement is. Tell me how this even matters. Tell me. You can't. Ron Rivera, thank you. That's the brother. Ron Rivera. My Latino brother. Ron. But that rule doesn't even make any sense. And let me do this, because imagine you going to apply for a job, and the place where you're going already has the person in mind. What nationality is the Bears' new coach? That's a white dude. It's a European brother. The GM is African American, I believe. I think the Bears' new GM is African American. His name is Ryan Poles. Yeah. He's African American. Oh. Yeah, he's African American. So the Bears, they interviewed African American, and the GM position is a senior level NFL football position. But again, imagine you thinking, hey, I'm qualified for this job. Let me go. Maybe they'll give me a fair shake. When the people in charge already have their minds made up, then what's the point? It's just like, this. I'll give you a very good example, because this is not the only place that this happens. The NFL is not the only place that this happens. So I know that when you're doing legally, this is what we had to do. Let you on the inside of some corporate stuff. So I worked for two of the largest companies around. One was one of the largest telecommunications companies, or cable companies, entertainment, which is Comcast now. That's what's the name of it, Xfinity Comcast. And on the other side was Bank One, which is now Chase, right? So companies like to promote from within. We like to promote from within. But when you put up that internal posting, I can't just hire. There may be somebody on my team that I know would be great, that I believe would be great for the position, right? Stay with me. I believe it would be great for the position. I think they would be the perfect person. I think we could work well together, blah, 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 right? But HR says, I can't just hire them. HR says, I got to do the dog and pony show. What does that mean? I got to create a posting. I got to put it online. I got to let it be online for at least two weeks so other people inside, if it's just an internal posting, so other people inside can have an opportunity to apply for a job. Then I must conduct interviews, even though I know this brother or this sister or whomever is who I want for the position. Based off of their work ethic, the time that they've been with the company, and everything else, I know that's who I want to hire. I'm trying to get y'all to the side of this. Based on that, I still have to go through the dog and pony show. I got to give them 2 weeks of this job being posted. I have to let the job posting close. Then I have to go through resumes. Then I have to go through the process. And then based off the resume, and then watch this, the way they've done it now, the hiring manager doesn't even go through the resumes. Let me bring you up to speed now. Because we have all these software and databases, the computer will kick out anybody that does not meet a certain criteria. And then the people that the computer sends you, you got to call and conduct either a phone interview or an in-person interview. I'm trying to give y'all some insight on how this works. Even though I've already made up my mind internally whom I want to hire, if I got this other person who decides that they want to apply for the job, and because they're internal, and if they meet a certain criteria, the computer is going to say, hey, Dana, you got to interview him and her. So yes, I have to go through the entire dog and pony show to hire them, even though. So some of these NFL owners, I'm not taking anybody's side, I'm just trying to get y'all both sides. Some of these NFL owners are saying, I know who I want. This is the guy that's been on my radar. And now that he's free and he's available, that's who I want. But you know what? So I don't get in trouble, let me interview a couple of these dark-skinned gentlemen. Let me interview some of these minorities. And then I'll get on who I want. Because there's no penalty. There's no penalty. I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me. What can you really do? What can you really do? All right. I don't really want to talk about this other thing because I feel some kind of way. But because I haven't watched it all the way through. But there is a show on Showtime right now, and it is hard to watch. It's hard to watch. But the show is simply entitled, We Need to Talk About Cosby. Have y'all seen this yet? We Need to Talk About Cosby. That's a show that's on Showtime right now. It's a documentary series directed by a brother, W. Kamau Bell. It's a show that it goes and deals with the complete history of William H. Cosby, Bill, as we know him, Heathcliff Huxtable, Fat Albert, Picture Pages, whatever you want to. Did I skip it? Did I get them all? The Jell-O pudding dude, the Kodak man, the Coconut Smile. It's a show dealing with him, and it's talking about everything. Let me tell you, it's very difficult to watch because I have always held, and I think it's probably because of my age, and then people who are in my age bracket and older probably feel the same way. I have always held Bill Cosby at a very, very high level when it comes to celebrities. I've always appreciated him from an educational standpoint. Let me say that. I've always appreciated him from an educational standpoint. I've always appreciated that he pushed learning and reading and education for our people. He was the example of what an education can do for you, for our people. So I've always looked up. I enjoyed him when I watched Fat Albert as a kid. I enjoyed him on picture pages. I enjoyed him, of course, on one of the greatest shows ever on television, The Cosby Show, and then I enjoyed him for his creation of the Black College Experience that made a lot of young Black people have a new, fresh desire and zeal for colleges and HBCUs with a different world. So I appreciate him. I had no knowledge of any of these accusations. Apparently, according to the documentary, and this is the part that always irritates me, everybody knew. There's a everybody knew scenario. Like they talk about Bill Cosby like everybody knew. And Tony, if I'm wrong, help me. They're talking about Bill Cosby like everybody knew, like they talk about R. Kelly like everybody knew. From the part, I went to sleep on the documentary, y'all. But from the part that I saw, they were talking about everybody knew, but nobody said anything. Everybody knew. But I'm gonna put some 3-in-1 oil on that thing. Everybody knew.
Do that.
But nobody said anything. What you got?
It was a everybody knew, and also, I was saying this to a friend. You have to listen to what it was, and that was another thing everybody kept telling y'all. Everybody kept saying he talked about it.
Oh yeah,
and everything. Listen to what people say, because when they say it, like, but his was true. Sometimes when people say some things, like, you know, they say it in like that, but that ain't me though. But could it be you? And everything else like that. And so I always say listening, because, you know, like, what was that? Was the Larry King Live? He talked about
the Spanish Fly.
Yeah, and he's talked about it over and over and over.
So
and
apparently,
over
and maybe you went to sleep too.
No, I don't think I did.
Because apparently there is a scene or a part of a video that he's being interviewed by this guy, and he talks about he says something on tape, and he turns to the guy and said, "We gonna cut that part out now, right?" And the guy's like, "No." He's like, "No, I'm gonna need you. You was woke for that part."
Yeah.
See, I was asleep.
Yeah, it's very hard to watch because it's not the way Kamal Bell did it and everything. I think he kind of used a different camera, which makes it kind of hard. He's trying to give you that nostalgic feel.
Oh, okay.
Like
So you're saying it's kind of all over the place. The shooting.
The shooting is very much so all over the place. Like, you got the Janet Jackson thing to keep you engaged and everything. But if you look at the shooting, just the shooting style of this and everything else like that, it's very a low key version of the the R. Kelly thing.
I do want to say this though. Unlike R. Kelly, and I'm just, and I know some people finna, and please don't come for me because y'all don't want this. Bill Cosby's case, he was convicted and then overturned and thrown out. His case was overturned and thrown out, which now means the conviction is gone. In the public eye, it is what it is. But legally, his conviction is gone. It's over. There's no record. It's dead. It's a done deal. Y'all do know that, right? I just want to be clear. And I know they did mention that at the beginning of the documentary. They did mention that. They made a point to say, just so you know, by the time we filmed this, FYI, at the end of this, they threw this little part on there. So you can catch it. It's on Showtime. There's 4 episodes total. 4 episodes total. The second episode, they haven't aired it. The second episode airs this weekend. It airs Sunday. And then the next one is the 13th, and then the last one is the week after that. So there we go. I am not. I just think this. I don't know, man. I don't know. We talked about this with R. Kelly. Can you separate the work from the one who delivered it? Can you separate the work? And I'm going to ask that question again. Can you all separate all of the wonderful things that Bill Cosby did? Because y'all know, what was that? What's the school? Was it Spelman? Or what's the Morehouse? Which one was it?
Which one?
Or was it Howard? That they took his name. They took his name off of the school stuff, okay, but they didn't get the money back.
That money spent.
Because here's my situation, Spelman. Here's my situation. They named something after him at the school, right? They took his name off of said thing, but you didn't send back the money. Can you separate the art from the artist? Can you? Can you separate the two? Let me take the fact that you know out of the equation, and then you find out after the fact. Say you find a restaurant that you really like, and the chef is amazing. And every time you go to this place, I don't care if it's a restaurant or a bar, the bartender is amazing. The chef or whoever is amazing. And you go there and you have the most amazing experience ever. I'm going to take this a step further. But then you find out that the chef is racist, or that the bartender is racist. You stop going, okay. But then were the drinks and the food that you had, are they now bad? Was it really not that good?
No, I mean,
do you not find fault with what you ate?
I mean, well, we did that. Like, who
was we? What we did, huh?
Yeah, we did it.
What we do?
With the gyro place.
What gyro place? Which one?
Hold
on, Chief. What we talking about?
The one on Jackson and on the corner.
What did we find out about the gyro place?
The Mr. Gyro, because we haven't been back there.
What did we find out?
Like,
help me.
The owner is racist. He's used racial, racially.
And I went back there after knowing this.
No, we didn't. After I told you, we never went back.
Oh.
We never went back.
And
we didn't say anything disparaging about the food, but we do know. No, we didn't. Because
okay.
Because out of all the gyro places and everything, you still haven't been able to find a great gyro.
Gyros.
Gyros. Because you love, because you are definitely in love with that place and everything.
Them gyros was wonderful.
But we can't go there. We can't go there because, buddy, you like to incite a riot and everything. So yeah, we stopped going.
Well,
always go bump.
She said, "I'm always bump backyard party at the barbecue and going to watch Cosby and Different World show."
I know that's right.
So I know Felicia. We had this conversation about R. Kelly a long time ago. I know Felicia says she can separate the two. She can separate the two. I guess that's my question. It's like, does he have this stain on his career, on his legacy? Yeah. Did he still do all these wonderful and great things? Yeah. Because now let me take it a step further. Let's move it out of out of the world of celebrity, and let's bring it home to the church house. Your pastor, your bishop, your cardinal, whatever. He done baptized all your babies. He done prayed for you at your bedside. He married you. He baptized your kids. He funeralized your mama and them, your auntie, all that good stuff, right? He done funeralized everybody, same pastor. Now you find out some dirt about the pastor. Do you separate the two? Or now, is he a demon, and is he evil, and is he this, and is he that, and blah, 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 blah. What say ye?
I've heard some people separate the two.
Separate.
They have separate. Some people out here, they have, separated the issues.
Interesting. How y'all feel about that? This person that he's been there for your family. He's been there for other families. From everything that you've seen on the surface, everything that you've seen in every level, he has been a pastor, a shepherd to you. But then you find out about everything else. Felicia says, I'm wrong. I can't separate.
I mean,
so you can separate R. Kelly from the backyard party, but not the preacher and you can't do the pastor and the other stuff. Help me out.
it is a very split vote.
Is it?
I'm so
Talk about it, y'all. What we got?
I'm so serious. It's a very split vote. That the pastor is the equivalent to the uncle that you just don't have your kid come around or whatever the pastor did and everything else like that. So now you're keeping a watchful eye and everything else like that. So now, so you know, because we don't speak about it, but it's going to be spoken in whispers and everything else like that. And I mean, we in a way we kind of talked about it, like, you know, the whole C.L. Franklin should have just been totally disregarded as who he was and everything
because of the
12-year-old.
Because of the rumors.
Well, I mean, of course we found out that it wasn't a rumor and everything.
Felicia said R. Kelly and Bill Cosby didn't do nothing to me. Church and pastors are scared. Oh.
And that's somebody else had that same exact
Okay.
thing. They said,
I get it.
They didn't do nothing to me, but
They did something to somebody else.
Right.
R. Kelly and Bill Cosby allegedly did stuff to other people. Let me keep using the term allegedly because his conviction was overthrown, and R. Kelly ain't been convicted of nothing yet. He's just in jail. he ain't actually had a trial yet. Believe it or not, I know we kind of got it. He been in jail the whole time, but the brother has not had a trial yet. You know, so let me go one step. Because I remember what's the guy's name? Dang, I forgot what I was finna go somewhere and I forgot. See, that's what happened when you're 51. I had something in mind just that quick and it slipped my mind. Dang it. But how do you oh, I'm sorry. Duh. Here is the deal. Is there redemption? She said, I mean, churches and pastors are personal. I got it. Here's the question. Is there redemption for R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and the preacher that you mad at? Or not in your eyes? Because you can't, like Felicia said, she can't separate the preachers and the pastor part. I get you, Felicia. I hear you. Because it does feel, because those are more personal. But what happens when it's a preacher or pastor who does not affect you, right? We've seen the Eddie Long controversies from afar. We've seen the Jamal Bryant controversies from afar. We've seen some local pastors controversies from afar. What say ye? What say ye? She says difference between entertainment TV and morality. Say what? I'm curious. I want to know. I just want to know because it is difficult. It is a thin line. It's a very thin line there. But at what point does forgiveness come in? Because if we're gonna go biblical with this now, can we use? And I tell people this all the time, and it's a hard pill for some people to swallow. But let me say this, and I'll stand on this biblically. I remember having this discussion in seminary, not about R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, of course, but I remember having this discussion with some some fellow classmates in seminary, and I shared this with you all. I was the only black student in my classes, the only black student in my classes. Everybody else was either European, and there was a handful of Asians, few, but it was I was the token in the class, and then everybody else was there. And so we were having this discussion one day about Peter and Peter's failure. Peter's failure with Christ, Peter's direct failure with Christ. And my argument was that the only difference between Peter and Judas was that Judas did not stick around for redemption. Judas did not stick around for redemption or to be forgiven. That's the only difference. And I know some people are going to be real upset with me, but biblically prove me wrong. You can have your opinion all day long. But based off of the way Jesus operates, based off of everything that we saw and how Jesus operates, the only difference between Peter and Judas would have been if Judas had said, instead of going to kill myself and allow these demons to push me into a place where I believe I can't be forgiven, I'm going to go back to this guy that I have seen heal people, that I have seen work with people who have done bad things to people and who has brought them into the fold. And if I decide, rather than go hang myself on this tree over the potter's field, I'm going to turn back around and I'm going to go back to where he is and say, you know what, Lord, I done messed up. And Jesus would have forgiven him. Felicia said that difference between us and Jesus, man doesn't look at the heart. Yeah. But we should. Bernice Johnson tried to comfort me about being fat. She says they're all human beings that can make mistakes and God can forgive. Absolutely. If your repentance is true, he can forgive. Will forgive. Not can, will. So we got to get, and again, I'm not comparing us. I'm not saying we are supposed to be Christ-like. We are supposed to have a heart for forgiveness, right? What I'm saying is that Judas gets Judas. There's a term, being a Judas, backstabber, all that kind of stuff, right? Judas has that bad name. If Judas had said, you know what, I know what I said I was going to do, and Lord, I sold you out, but I want to come back and tell you right now. Judas did what he did because that was his job. He did his job. He had the same opportunity. He would have had the same opportunity that Peter did. When Jesus restored Peter, he could have restored Judas. He could have restored Judas if Judas had stuck around. That's real. I know that's heavy, but it's real because that's the kind of God he is. She says, I don't understand why when Peter betrayed Jesus too. When Peter got scared, you remember? When they arrested Jesus and then Peter followed behind in the bushes and Jesus was sitting there and the people was like, hey, ain't you one of him? When he denied him. He denied him. That was a betrayal. He said he didn't know him. Had been with him from the start. He said he didn't know him. That was the denial. That was the betrayal. Because he said he didn't know him. Well, he did cuss. Right. He cussed the third time after they kept asking him. Peter had some brother tendencies. Peter said, and you better not ask me no more. Peter said, I don't know that. Somebody should do a play. Maybe I'll write a play. Tanya. I'll write a play called and put a twist on it. I could never do it in the church though. But write a play. You know how Ice Cube did Friday? I'll write a play called Good Friday. And so, I think about it. I just had this idea in my head. I probably could do it too. Somebody gonna steal it. Every time I say something on the air, somebody end up doing what I do, but it's okay. But I could write a play called Good Friday. And I could just imagine the church folk would be upset about Peter's lines. But Peter, when it come time for Peter to cuss, his inner Bernie Mac gonna come out.
Well, how about we have the cuss with the B?
What?
Yeah.
No, it's got to be full on. Peter didn't beat.
Oh no.
You just can't do it at the church house.
I mean, I'm just thinking in terms of in the Martin episode when he went to go defend Jesus.
Oh, and they bleeped out everything he said
and Stan
on the air.
And Stan came right there,
hitting the censor button.
Yeah.
I just think it would be wonderful. Right, Felicia? That's exactly what he would say. Who? I done told y'all I don't know. You know that's what he said. You know that's what he said. But that actually would be a good play for Good Friday. Just simply call it Good Friday. And so you had all the days leading up to the whole play could be like from Thursday night. Well, ain't no Thursday night, but don't even get me started on the days. We ain't gonna talk about all that. But you had the play start Thursday night into Friday. Had a play start right before the Last Supper.
I don't want to direct. I directed my last two plays.
I'm telling you, that would be awesome. Could you imagine the play opens up, getting ready for the Last Supper?
It's a great thought.
So you could switch around. Watch this, y'all. I'm finna get in so much trouble biblically. You know the story with Mary and Martha and what's the sister got mad because the other one was hanging out at Jesus' feet, and she said, "Hey, you need to be in here cooking and cleaning." She had an attitude, but she was in there hanging out with Jesus. And Jesus said, "What you mad for? She ain't here getting the good part." I would conflate all that together. I would be like, okay, they was back there, just make it all together because it'd be funny for the play. I just think that would be really good. Somebody gonna steal my idea. Are you writing this down over there?
Yes, I am.
I think I should write this play. This would probably be good. What Tyler Perry at? What? You know what? I'm a partner with Trina. Tell Trina I got an idea for a play. That's an idea for a play. Somebody get Trina Page.
Get Trina Page.
Somebody, I'm live. Somebody tag Trina Page in this video real quick so I can get her on here. That's a good idea for a play. But anyway, I just think it would be good. It would be something fun. It would be good. And think about it. We could do it locally with some churches and it would be a good fundraiser. Like for real. I'm telling you, I just thought about that. That would be really good. Good Friday. Get it ready, get it up and running, and let it run up through Easter. Like started like in March, or like and said, the Good Friday play. I think that would be good. All right, I'm done with it. Anyway.
Oh, darn it. I missed the meeting.
What? Oh, Lord. You. Where they do that at? You missed the meeting. Yeah, y'all, she missed the meeting. Yeah, so sorry. I forgot. Well, you can't tell me because I can't help you. That ain't, you keep my schedule. I don't keep yours. Right, I'm the wrong one. Anyway, y'all, I don't think we're gonna get to this article tonight. which is fine. It's a good article though. It was really dealing with it really just talked about how to learn church worship from other churches. Tanya can drop it in there. Drop the article in there for you guys to take a look at. One of the main points was to take a Sunday off and go visit another church. You can learn from other churches. I'm not saying mimic and copy other churches, but you can learn what to do and what not to do. A lot of times we take the wrong purpose. A lot of times you can learn from other churches what not to do. I know Tanya and I, when we first started doing this whole video thing, we was looking at everybody and we was like, oh, we ain't doing that. Or we was like, that look a mess. Like, I don't know. Like, I know we can do better than that. So you can learn a lot from watching, even virtually. Even virtually, you can learn a lot from other churches. What they do as far as their styles of worship and the flow of their services. I've watched quite a few churches. I love how certain churches flow, that their worship it doesn't seem as directed. Because you can overproduce a worship service. Let me say that again. You can overproduce a worship service, meaning that you leave no room for true worship to actually happen because you're so busy talking about, okay, on the 2, go, check, move, go there, shout now, jump here, pray here, kneel down here, bend over, speak in tongue, shout, fall out, faint. There you go. That's called overproducing. Right. But you know, the say what?
And it's not authentic.
No, it's not. But the whole purpose of directing it is to just make sure that people that everything is in place so that you can flow in worship. Even with directors, right? Directors can have a whole scene played out, but once that scene starts, if the person that's in the scene decides to take some liberties and do an ad lib here and it fits, sometimes it just fits. Sometimes some things just fit. Everything doesn't always follow the order of service. The order of service is a blueprint. It's a summary. It's a summary, but sometimes you go off script. Not all the time, but sometimes you go off script. The Bible says do everything in decency and in order. So you got to have a plan. And that's just it. But I just think going to visit other churches, the writer was good on that point. One of the other points was take history in your pocket. He says to think about do your research on the history of worship styles or how people worship or the history of what corporate worship versus personal worship looks like, corporate prayer versus personal prayer, all of those things, and then read some books about worship. I think some of our people are so afraid to read books about worship because it's going to challenge your thinking. Yes, the Bible gives you ample information and instructions on what worship looks like. It does. But at the same time, a lot of great writers have taken what's in the Bible and contextualized it and made it modern for you so that your worship can be brought to modern form. And you cannot be afraid to read books about worship because they're going to challenge you. And it's not challenge you because you've been doing it wrong. It challenges you so you can do it better, right? It's not about making you feel like you're wrong. It's so that you can be a better worshiper, right? So you can be a better worshiper. And then the other thing was write down what moved you. When you go to a place, what was the experience? What was your experience like at the place? What moved you the most at their worship service? What moved you the most? What I like about my mom's church is they got a bunch of ministers, and this was pre-COVID. They got a bunch of ministers on staff at Rock of Ages, Tony, a bunch of ministers. So when they do the altar call, all of the ministers come to the front of the room, and each one takes an aisle. And so then you get in the line, and you come down to the altar so they can pray for you individually. So you could come down, and they can pray for you. I thought that was kind of unique. Now, a lot of churches don't have that access, and it does take up a little time. But if you're going to fill some time somewhere, if you're going to spend a little lengthy time somewhere, I think altar call is a great place to spend some lengthy time. But you can pray for people. You can pray for people individually. And there's one preacher in the pulpit who's praying, but then there's other ministers who are down at the bottom who people say, if you want some individual prayer, come on down. Come on down. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was great. I remember seeing it at my mom's church. I thought that was really cool because I'd never seen that done that way before. I believe they do that at some of the larger, for lack of better words, mega churches because they have so many people on staff. And when they want that individual attention, the pastor can't come down there and touch and lay hands on everybody. So what's the point of having all these other people in the pulpit if they ain't there, to do nothing? As my good mentor, Dr. Gerald M. Dew from the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church would say, what's the point of having you up here if you ain't gonna do nothing? Why are you here? Other than you want to be called a preacher, but you ain't gonna do nothing. You can't pray for nobody. You can't visit nobody. I can't get you to do nothing. But you do want to get up there and preach. See. I'm gonna leave that alone. Anyway. And then the last thing. Let me see. Last point of this particular article was whole joint gatherings. Now that I think in this day and age would probably be hard to pull off. Actually, I don't see why I would, though, because the only issue that comes with the joint gatherings is who's going to get the money. See? Think about it. The only thing about two church, like say let's say what's church right around the corner over here that we pass all the time on the way home? The Throne Room, something, right over here. Now, we don't know them people, and I don't know if nobody here know them people, right? And then there's another church that we fellowship with, Mount Eagle. I think that's where Stanley and them was at for a while, right? What would happen, like for instance, with the Thanksgiving Day service that we hosted, right? So we took up the offering. The members, a deacon from each church got up to get the offering, right? So think about it. The only thing really separating people from doing, but think about what a time you could have if you said on a Sunday, hey, you know what? Y'all come worship with us. Can we gather together? Can you take one Sunday a month? That's an awesome idea now that I think about it. One Sunday a month where you say, you know what? We not coming to our church. We going to worship with y'all today. Or y'all going to come worship with us today. If you got 2 or 3 churches to do that once a month.
It's a great idea, but you know how many, think about you are in a new time and space right now.
With COVID, yes.
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about being here.
Okay.
But so let me just rewind you back to good old KBC.
Oh Lord, here we go. Dun dun dun. Wait a minute. Rewind.
Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Do you even just when churches would come in?
Yes.
I have never seen people do even in the churches that did come in the whole up and down look as if oh my God, they're gonna sing so much better than us.
The fear that they're gonna do it better.
Yeah, the fear, definitely the fear, or the fear of he's playing on my drums. I hope he brought his own stick. And I'm like, churches because they are it is one big body.
Mm-hmm.
You got some insecurities there. It is a great and wonderful idea. You would love to see it happen.
So
and everything else like that. But I think about it in terms of now, in terms of my daughter when they go down to whatever state they go to for the whole big dance situation.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So and they're competing with other churches, and because they were in competition. Hillside, Freedom Baptist Church was known, and it was this up and down. Like, yeah, we got this.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing insecurities to the next dance troupe of praising the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's a great idea. I am definitely not. What is that? Squashing it. It is a great idea.
You're not killing the dream.
I'm not killing the dream. I always want to say that, like, what is that? I'm playing devil's advocate, and I would love to see it and everything else like that. But so many times you do have to just kind of like watch it or be somewhere else so you can understand. Like, you know what? I love what they did. I would like to take some of those aspects in it. And I will say this, and I think this is after watching the Hotel Hell show with Gordon Ramsay. Just because you
found a way to get that in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, just because you want to, because he was talking to one of the hotel people. Mm-hmm. He said, just because you wanted these things doesn't mean it needs to be here and everything else. Because what he was doing, like, because he, one of his issues was he had like a 300 item menu because he would go taste it somewhere else and
just add it to the menu.
And he wanted in his menu
and
everything. And so he took away from his own chef and everything else like that. He took the chef's power. Like, you have 300 menu items and none of it is cohesive to what you're doing.
That's
so,
good.
like, there are pros and cons, but like I said, it is a great idea. Would love to see it happen.
So Pat clarified something for me, and I think that's what I was trying to say, but I think she cleared it up for me. She said that Thanksgiving Day, the offering was shared between the churches. So I just thought that each deacon took their money from their people, but okay, that's great too. If you collect, $3,000 and 3 churches, everybody get a G and go home, And now the home church, the host church might feel some kind of way because you had your lights on, but you know what? It can't be about that on that day. It really can't be about that. The article talks about doing it on Easter Sunday. Now imagine that. Easter Sunday, where you didn't go to your church, you went to somebody else's. Oh, Lord, I think folk would be upset. Pastor, you done closed the church down on the Lord's Day, on Resurrection Sunday. Well, he got up on Saturday, so you'll be all right. But you done closed up the church. But the article talks about doing it on a Easter. Imagine right now, and especially in the climate that we're in, this would be, and the whole purpose is, like you said, you can learn, and this is what the writer was saying, you can learn from the other churches. It will be a joint worship gathering. And you literally could do, I've seen them do this, where it's kind of like the 7 last words. Everybody get 10 minutes. So if you got 3 preachers, everybody get 10 minutes. Get up there, give me that sermonette, boom. And we hit it off the same thing. I'm gonna come with this, I'm gonna come with this, I'm gonna come with this. And we sit and we go and we do it. Why not? But you have to have relationships. You gotta have relationships. You have to build relationships in your community around people so that they feel like, because it's not about you trying to get their members. It's not about them trying to get your members. It's about saying, hey, we're like-minded believers. How about we all gather in one place and see the manifestation of God happen? How about that? If you're believers and we're believers, why can't we gather under one place, open up our doors, and we all market this thing. We sell this thing, right? Like 3 churches coming together, right? 3 churches coming together on Resurrection Sunday. Bring your family and watch us unite. Let's unify. We talk about these words all the time. Bring your families, join in with us, help us. It's almost like it's literally like Family and Friends Day, right? That's why so many churches have Family and Friends Day afternoon programs so that the other church could come. But see, if you did it where it ain't about the afternoon, to do it in the morning. You know what? It's okay if my church don't open. Guess what? It's okay if we don't turn the power on in the building that Sunday. You saving money anyway. I know we're in the midst of COVID, but imagine the prospects of a joint of 3 choirs coming together, right? Or 3 praise teams or whatever you have, your best soloist and our best choir and they best musician and everybody, a huge, and throw a big word, you ready? A huge amalgamation.
Ooh, big word. What letter does it start with?
Really?
Wait a minute. Let me sound it out. Armageddon. Oh, I got it right.
You got it? But you know, I'm just saying, if you get an amalgamation of people, right, just coming together and just for that day and that space and that time where you're getting all these people to come together worship and you've worked on it. It's not just they show up and you do whatever, but you've worked on it. Y'all have had some joint rehearsals and you've worked with the preachers. You know, you've collaborated on the word that's going to be delivered. You've collaborated on the worship, on the music that's being delivered, and nobody is left out. Everybody comes in, and just imagine the type of worship you would have. Not about a show, but about 3 people coming together for worship.
90 seconds.
It would almost be like the tribes back in the biblical days when the tribes got together, right? Think about that, man. I don't know. Y'all know me. I like that kind of stuff. I enjoy, you know, that kind of stuff. She says, I church visit all the time. God is everywhere. Of course he is. She says, I think people are doing it more now, especially during the pandemic. Yeah, people are, it's easy to visit other churches online. I was strictly talking about from a in-person standpoint, but yeah, it's easy to go to churches online now. I know when I'm getting ready for church, after I leave, because I visit 2 churches, well, normally one now, because the other one don't come on all the time. I visit 2 churches in the morning, Mars Hill and Second Baptist. Those are 2 churches that I virtually visit on Sunday mornings. Then technically would be 3, because then after that, I visit Faith Works and Vision. So I church hop, right? But I just think it would be great. It would be great to think about it if we fellowshiped with Faith Works and Vision, right? They musicians and singers came over here and fellowshiped with us. If we fellowshipped with Second Baptist, like Ebenezer used to do way back in the day, and Michael came over and brought his people over, and we did that. Those are the things that and then because you're doing it, because now it's like, hey, we're going here. We're going to be in the city. Why don't y'all come to church here? Y'all don't want to come to our church because it's all the way in LaGrange. Y'all live in the city. Now we going to be in the city. Y'all can come have church with us here. Or if y'all don't want to come to we going to be we already in the suburbs. Well, we all going to the suburbs anyway. So we going to be out there having church. I don't understand why that. I don't even. But you know what the problem is? Egos.
Yeah.
Because if I can't preach, I ain't going. If I can't be the one delivering the word to the masses, I ain't going. Egos.
It's a very, like I said, it's one big body, and you got a lot of emotions in that body.
Emotions make you cry sometimes.
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh,
okay. You can end your show.
All right, y'all. Hey, we're gonna get ready to get out of here, y'all. Let's we're gonna get ready and pray and get out of here. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Look, we gonna, and I want to get something to you, and I can't say too much because I get in trouble. But we got some announcements coming down the line for TTLO. Y'all stay ready. We got some stuff we gonna be doing. And so just stay ready for that. Y'all keep us in prayer. We'll keep you all in prayer. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you. Again, God, for this Friday, God, we thank you for just another day, God. We thank you for getting us through this week, even in the midst of snowstorms and all the things going on around the world, God. We thank you for keeping us and protecting us, God, even from dangers, as they say, seen and unseen. For that, we said thank you, God. We thank you for keeping us, keeping our families intact, God, keeping our loved ones from hurt, harm, and danger, any of those things that might have came after them, God. We thank you for your hedge of protection. God, we're lifting up those families that are grieving, God. We're praying for the family of our own Sister Brunson, I believe is her name. I might have got her last name wrong. But we're praying for her family. We're praying for other families, God. We're still praying for those who are still going through their own grieving processes, no matter how long it takes. God, we're still praying for those that are going through. We're praying for those that are ill right now, those who are in hospitals, those who are recovering, those who are still suffering the side effects and the after effects of COVID-19. We're still praying for them as well. Now, God, as we leave this place, but never your presence, we ask for traveling mercy and grace in the mighty name of Jesus. Jesus we pray. Everybody has said amen. All right, y'all, look, we got to get up out of here. It's time to go. If you got to drive through this special, y'all know the way, special city we call Chicago, y'all do me a very, very small favor. Let me say it like Harold. Keep your head. I can't say it like him, though. Keep your head on a swivel. 2 T's, 1 L, 1 O. We out.
With your hands lifted